Hello and welcome to another edition of Featured Business brought to you by your host, James Moffat, myself, and Visibility Impact. And we have our 76th guest today, right? Cornelia Illy.
Illy, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise known as Connie. So we'll stick to your short name. So Connie is our 76th guest. So congratulations and welcome. This is your first time, so you've not been a guest and you've not been in the audience, so you have no idea what's in store for you today.
No, I have seen some videos that you made, but not quite, so I have to catch up.
Right, and at the moment, it's quite cozy. There's four of us. Emily is traveling, but she is going to do a recording for us, so we'll have a song at some point through here, so we'll have a break in between if she gets the recording done in time. If not, we'll share that afterwards or stitch it into the recording of this at the end. So we want to know a little bit about you. So we'll go straight into that. So the way this is done, just as a bit of a recap for the audience listening, we don't talk about your business and everything at the moment or what you're doing. We take you on a little journey back through your childhood up to where you are now. So we learn a bit more about who you are, is Connie, right? And then, as I said, because there's a small group, we can make it interactive. So if people want to jump in and ask a question, or if any time you want to ask the audience a question, then please do so. So, all clear?
All clear, yes.
So without further ado, right, the spotlight is on Connie. So let's just take you back through memory lane and tell us a little bit first. Well, where are you currently and where are you originally from?
Where I live in Madrid 10 years now, but I'm from Romania, Bucharest, the capital of Romania. So I come from a poor family, myself and one brother I have. What else? I studied English philology, so I should be English teacher, but I don't like working with kids, so I stick to other ways to use English in in my work. And how I
let's just kind of pause there because you've gone way too fast forward.
Okay.
So right, but I'm curious about. Yeah, you don't like working with kids.
No. When I was in university, we had to make the practice on working with kids, and I went to classes, and I noticed that they are way too distractive, and they don't pay attention to the teacher. So I said, that's not for me.
They don't respect me.
Yes, and I'm thinking how. Although I like English language and I like kids, but when they are too many, it's too much. So I said, I can't do this because from that point of view.
But is there a limit? If there was a small group of kids, you could do it?
I think so. I had some time when I was giving English classes for small kids, and I've done it with 2 or 3 kids. So in small group, yes, but in large group, it's different.
Yeah, I think it's more, you get more attention and it's more personal in the smaller group.
I think it depends also on the person who needs to do it, because if you have a strong personality, you can impose to them and they should listen to you. But if you're blender, it's more difficult.
But I think, honestly, there's an art to interacting with anyone, because if you were in front of a group of adults and it was more than, I don't know, 5 people, so there's a big audience, would you have the same challenge?
Yes, but I think the adult people tend to pay attention who is in front. No?
I don't know. I mean, I
have experience.
I think it depends on the person.
I mean, we could
teaching adults and they behave exactly like kids.
I mean, we could really digress on this, but I mean, I don't want to do it because I I worked at a school
Mhm.
last week, and I had 5 different classes, and the first class had 23 kids. It was my first time I'd met them, and it was all about storytelling. I don't want to kind of hijack this show talking about that, but I mean, I got their attention, all 23. And then the next class was around 12, and then 12, and then the last one at the end of the day was 5. So, but it worked with 99%. Only one child didn't interact.
Mhm.
So I think sometimes it can be easier with kids, depends on how you
I
engage with
don't
them at
know.
the beginning.
If I go to a class or a presentation or whatever, I pay attention. But I think there are people who don't pay attention no matter the subject or
Yeah, but do you not think it's more? I mean, I know we're really digressing here, which will come back on track in a minute. But I remember being at school, and I had the perfect subject. I couldn't wait for that subject because that was really my thing. But the teacher delivering it was the most boring teacher ever. And then I thought, oh no, this could be so exciting. And then I've had the opposite, the really exciting, engaging teacher and the most boring subject. But it definitely helped because the subject wasn't so boring because of the teacher.
Mhm.
So I think it's the art of delivering whatever you're doing.
it is, but I think it depends also on the personality you have, because no matter how many things you know or how prepared you are, if you're not meant to do that, you will do it. I
Well,
don't know.
then maybe if you're doing it with business people, you say that if they're starting to use their phone and not paying attention, you have to like call them out. You say, "Excuse me."
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you don't
No,
feel
but sometimes
comfortable,
you should. You should. I mean, put them on the spot because it's not good for you when an audience aren't taking any notice, like Paul, you see Paul. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't care calling people out. And then it's not to embarrass them, but it's also to, if there's something that, if they shouldn't be there, then don't be there. But anyway, let's get back on track. So Emily's actually sent the recording now, so we'll play that in a minute.
okay.
Let's go back. So you're in Madrid at the moment.
Mhm.
So how long?
Yes, I'm in Madrid, but now you are the one who went fast forward.
No, I'm going backwards. I'm starting like, so you're in Madrid at the moment.
Okay,
How long have you lived there?
I live since 211, so
211.
12
Since
years now. Yes,
211. Right.
yes, 2000.
Okay.
2000,
You don't
sorry.
look so old.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
look that old, right?
No. Right. And right now I'm going to take you back. So you're originally from Romania,
Mhm.
from Bucharest.
Bucharest, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Anyone been to Bucharest here?
no,
Yeah, I have. Paul?
I haven't. I've met people. I know a lot of Romanians, but I've never been to Romania itself.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I've been
Yeah.
3 times last year.
I really enjoyed some of the people I've met. I met them in Sweden. I think we were at sort of like a common meeting event, and I met some lovely people from Romania. I always wanted to go there, and she always wanted me to bring her diamonds from Africa. But yeah, that's as far as it went.
Yeah, I've been many times. I think the first time I went was 1989, and we went through the Transylvanian mountains and saw Dracula.
Did you see that? I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah,
I think you saw Dracula Castle, not Dracula
yeah,
Castle.
exactly. We saw Dracula Castle, but we went, that was the first time I went, but I went many years later, and it's completely different. But anyway, so you're not our first guest from Romania. We've had a few.
Mhm.
So you should catch up with each other. So I put you in now the featured business group. So yeah, you could catch up and have a
Yes,
look.
now I'll catch up after this.
Yeah. So growing up as a kid, you've got siblings?
I have one brother who's 3 years elder than me, and nothing else.
And he's in Romania?
He's in Romania, yes.
All right. So so what made you, no, I'll come to that in a minute. I don't want to say
What made me change the
travel.
country?
Yeah.
That was the question.
No, yeah, but I mean, we'll come to that in a minute. So before we go there, as a child growing up, did you have any particular ambitions or hobbies or interests that you wanted to?
No, I had some, I don't know how to call it. I have very poor family. So what I was doing is trying to reach out. So watching movies and reading books was my spare time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because I had that feeling that when you see a movie or when you read a book, you live some other people's life, no? You live the life that you read or you see, no? So it's a strange feeling, but I felt it that way.
No, I think I can relate to that. So I mean, reading books and also watching movies and things, you can, for that moment in time, you feel that you're actually part of it.
Yes.
And it's not until it's kind of finished that you realize you're not part of it. But how can you change your life to be like something that you'd want something different?
But that helped me because that was how I learned Spanish. That was how I learned English, and that is why that is why I can write what I'm writing right now, because of all the books I've read when I was a child. So it's all related.
So when it started, I mean, because did you learn English at school, or did you teach yourself?
I learned English at school since I was 6 or so.
Okay.
And we started English in the 2nd grade. And later on, I studied English philology, so it's related. And then Spanish, I learned by watching telenovelas, which are the Spanish movies. And the thing is that when you hear a language for a long time or for a long period of time, your brain associates and it has to be with the translation.
Subtitles. Yeah.
Yes, with the subtitles. And later on, when you hear the same word, you just know what it means.
Well, maybe for
when
some.
I came here in Spain, I knew how to speak Spanish because I've heard it for a long time, although I've never spoken before.
Yeah, I mean, some people are gifted in that respect. It's like my neighbor, they had 5-year-old, or at the time 5-year-old daughter. I mean, she's 10 now, I think, but she didn't speak a word of English. But from watching movies and kids' things in English and speaking with me, she learned English. But she hadn't started that at school yet. I don't know if even she started now, but I mean, yeah, it was quite amazing. So, but I think it's not for everybody, because
but it also depends on your family, let's say, because here I've met people that, for example, one of the fathers is of a nationality, the other one is other nationality. So the child needs to speak both languages. If for example, the mother is Romanian and the father is, I don't know, Turkish, he needs to speak both. And if he lives here in Madrid, he has to speak Spanish as well. So we already have 3 languages.
Polyglotte from the birth.
No, I understand, because my wife is Brazilian and we live in Switzerland. So the kids speak Brazilian Portuguese, English, and Swiss German. And they're learning, I mean, they learn High German at school as well, and they're learning French now. So for them, I mean, already trilingual. For me, I still struggle. actually, I think my language is going backwards because not living in a native English speaking country anymore, I feel that my English is suffering because of that. So I'm actually going backwards with my language. So when I actually go back to the UK, I have no idea what people are talking about anymore because their language evolves as well. And because I'm not part of it, they're saying words I've never heard of. So anyway, but let's stay focused on you. So you said that you're married with a child.
Yes. So after the university, I got married, and I've started working in multinational companies because I was speaking English. So I used English to get a job, and I've worked there in Romania in some, I don't know, 2 or 3 multinational companies. And later on, the crisis came.
So what kind of position, I mean, roles were you doing in these companies?
Assistant manager, secretary, this sort of things. Answering the phone, translating documents, small job, let's say. And later on, I got fired, and my husband was also without a job. So we thought, we have heard of people coming here in Spain and that were better. So we said, why not? We don't have nothing else to lose since we don't have a job. So we packed what we had, and we made a trip in car from Romania, I don't know, Ukraine, Austria, France, Italy, France, and Spain.
Wow.
So it was a long trip, but we didn't have. It was in summer, so it was hot and nice and so forth. And we didn't have a special day we needed to arrive, so there was no rush. And it was interesting. Hi.
Good morning, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Right, we'll just pause very briefly. Pete is a regular as well. And yeah, I guess you're in Atlanta.
I'm in Atlanta. My Friday morning's men's session just ended a little later than normal. So sorry, I'm a little late joining, but glad to be here.
No problem.
Thank you.
Is that a beard that I see? Is that a beard going there?
That's just called lazy, being lazy.
Okay.
But if you like, maybe I'll keep it.
Yeah, I think it'll suit you. It's got that sort of professor look about you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, we just kind of kicked off. It is a bit of a smaller group, so we're making it as interactive as possible. So Connie is just telling us about, she's originally from Romania, born in Bucharest, did a road trip around Europe and ended up in, is that how you ended up in Spain?
No, we hated Spain when we lived in Romania.
All right.
Because
So why Spain?
Why Spain? Because I knew that I knew how to speak Spanish, and because we knew some Romanians that were here in Spain. So it wasn't just we are leaving the country. It was also we are going somewhere we can know somebody, because if you're going out there, it's very difficult to change the country without having a contract, without having a job, without having anyone. No, so at least to be someone you can know or you can rely on if you're in trouble. I don't know, something like that.
So when people see you in Spain, in Madrid, right? Do they think you're Spanish?
It depends. There are people that say that don't make the difference if I'm Spanish or not. And there are some who say that for my accent, they can notice I'm not Spanish.
Right. But do they know where you're from? Is it obvious or not?
No, not really.
Right.
It depends on the person you met, because some say it is easier for them to guess your nationality, and others say, I don't know, tell me, what are you?
Yeah, exactly. So your husband, is he Romanian then?
Yes, he's Romanian, and he's been working in telecommunications and later on in repairing computers. So when we got here in Spain, after 1 year or so, we've opened repair office.
Mhm.
It's not like, I don't know, it's a small, it's not a shop, it's a repair, I don't know how it's called. He's repairing computers, let's
All
say.
right. Okay. Right.
Okay.
And so how long have you lived there? You said since 2011.
Yes.
Right. So your daughter was, where was
She
she?
came 1 year after we got here in
So
Spain.
she was born in Spain.
Yes.
Does that automatically give her a Spanish nationality?
No. Although she's considered Spanish, she needs to make the papers to be recognized as a Spanish, because if she's a Romanian's daughter, it's not like she's Spanish
Okay, but she can apply.
100%.
She can apply. Can you apply after a certain amount of time as well?
What?
Can you apply to be Spanish as well?
Yes.
After how long?
I think 5 years or so.
All right. Okay. But you haven't.
But the thing is that the Romanian authorities are a bit bad, because they say if you want to be a Spanish, you have to quit your Romanian nationality, and I
You
don't think
have
it's
double?
fair.
You have double?
No, I don't. But you can't double. That's the thing.
In Bulgaria, they allow it. So it's allowed to have double like
It should be, but the
Yeah.
Romanians don't want to. The Romanian authorities, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, with our kids, I mean, they have a Brazilian nationality, a British nationality, a Portuguese nationality, but they don't have the Swiss one, yet they were born here.
Mhm.
But we can apply for that. Right.
They
So
can become spies then, James, your kids. I think they can
they're going to be spies, yeah.
they're ready.
I haven't applied for this reason, because it doesn't seem fair to me that you
don't
have
want
to.
All right, you don't want to be a spy.
Don't want to be a spy.
No, I don't want to be.
I have the name
I
to
can
be a
tell
spy.
you can be spy without changing
You
nationality.
can only be a spy if your name begins with James.
And if you have 10 passports or so, no.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so sorry, how old is your daughter? So she's 9.
Yes, she's 9.
What is her name?
Yeah, is she going to come on and say hello?
Sonia.
Sonia.
Sonia. Sonia.
We are child friendly, you see.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Oh.
Sonia. Ce
Did you
faci,
speak
They
in
face
understand
bine?
very well English. We are in process, so.
English or Spanish? I mean,
Romanian.
Romanian
Ce
or
face
Spanish?
bine?
Ești bine, te întreb.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, we always have kind of the kids appear every week as well. I mean, I end up like with my kids coming in here and disturbing me when I'm on. It was holidays last week, and they came in and sat on the show as well. So we are child friendly here. You see, I think we're going to do a special for all the kids.
And
Okay.
grandkids, James.
Okay.
Oh, so
Yes.
So just going back to you, so I mean, for you in particular, you're the type of person you are, you like reading a lot. Any particular books?
Not really. I don't know. I don't like the crimes and police and that sort of thing. But
You like
I'm not.
romance?
I'm not. What?
Romance. Is that
Romance. Yeah.
Sort of. I don't know. Or
Fantasy.
I know the.
Science
Yeah.
or science fiction. Or
Yeah.
yes.
I like more
One
bio.
of my favorite. It's Dune.
It's what?
Dune from
Dune.
Frank
It's-
Herbert.
Science fiction.
Ah, okay.
Dune.
Dune. Yes.
Mm.
Small stuff.
Paul, are you a reader, Paul?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. What sort do you read then?
Well, I like John Grisham and Lee Charles. You know Lee Charles. He writes that Jack Reacher.
Oh yeah.
Jack Reacher novel. Yeah, I like him. He's a good writer.
Mhm.
And I've always liked Grisham. And I like the guy, I forget his name now, but the guy who wrote, what was that movie that about the Italian church and all of that?
Italian church.
Harry Potter. No.
Code? The Da Vinci Code?
Da Vinci Code, that's
Ah,
it. my
yes.
friend.
Oh yeah, Dan Brown.
Who's the
Don
author?
Brown. Don
Dan
Brown.
Brown.
Dan Brown, yeah. I
Dan
like
Brown,
Dan Brown. I
okay.
think he's
Yeah, I've read all of those ones.
produces his stuff exceptionally well.
Yeah, I like those because basically he's just telling the truth.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Maybe you look at things in a different way. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
the truth, but it's a different perception. So that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
don't.
I remember it was a dispute with one of his books talking about Jesus or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that was a Da Vinci Code. That was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The bloodline and the Knights
That's
Templar and everything
That's
else.
it. All pretty
But don't
stuff.
ask Pete because Pete will know everything. He's a movie
Yeah.
expert.
Yeah, pizza resident guru.
Okay.
What do they say? A broken clock strikes the right time twice a day. So, you know.
So anyway, we could make it a little pause if you want. I mean, we can make the show go on a bit longer because we started a bit late and we had some technical issues. We could do a little pause here and have Emily sing. I've got the video now,
Okay,
right?
that's good.
Is that okay for everyone?
Yeah. Yeah,
We're in
she's
your
a-
hands, James. What can we say?
I don't know if it'll work, but let's give it a shot. This is the first, right? So if it doesn't work, then we'll just come back here. But if it does work, then we've learned something new as well, right? So let me try some magic, right? Okay, so you should see Emily here.
Yes, we do.
Right, let's see how we can do this to make it bigger.
We are in the car on the way to a gig in Champéry.
Hello.
Here's Mehdi, the guitarist.
Hi.
We're gonna do
Oh, right there. I'm just
3
making
little
it
birds
big.
for you. Don't worry about a thing.
I like the song.
'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little
Don't worry. Did it stop?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, that was the end, I think.
We are in the car.
Oh, yeah,
on
that
way
was
to
the
a
end.
gig in
yes, that was
Champéry.
the
Hello.
Here's Mehdi.
Right.
No memory, no space.
But it worked. It worked. So
It
that
will
Work,
not-
yes.
you heard it okay?
I can
Yes.
just imagine what happened there. She'd forgotten
She came
completely.
to hear it.
All
I
right.
phoned her. She said, "Oh, shucks, still got to do something for
Yeah, I'll
Friday
send you.
afternoon."
Yeah, I'll send you a copy of that. Right. So I mean, I think she ran over someone. Did you hear a couple of thuds there when she was driving?
Started worrying.
Yeah.
Heard
I
that.
don't know.
Maybe she ran over a couple of hedgehogs or something. Right, but anyway, it worked. I mean, to drive, have the guitarist, and concentrate on not running over hedgehogs at the same time. It was pretty good. So we've had Emily. So now back to Connie. Right. So Connie, people are dying to know what you're actually doing. So we know you're married. You're from Romania. You're in Madrid. You've got now your own daughter. Sorry, what was her name again?
Sonia.
Sorry,
Sonia.
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 Sonia, yes.
Okay, and you work for corporate companies and stuff, and then there was a pivot point.
Yes. The thing is that ever since I was in university, I wanted to work in something that I could do from home and live from it. So, but it took me a lot of years, and it has to, the coronavirus had to arrive. So we all get stuck in our homes and we needed to do something to live from. So when the coronavirus came, I made a marketing MBA, and later on I decided to jump as a freelance, writing content and copy and so. So the pivot point was this, when this there, I think there's a good part and a bad part in all this, because you need to encounter some points when you have to make a decision. So for me it was this one, because if that didn't happen, I think I will never I would have never decided to do what I'm doing now, because we had this business we have in family, and we've tried to do another one, but it failed. So it's different. It's difficult to encounter that point when you know that you're good at something, but to make the step, I'm not, and to decide I'm not going to do anything else that will not be related to this. So, and I've made it 2 years ago or so.
So on your journey then, I mean, when you decided to do it, it was mainly because of COVID and everything, and then wanting to work from home and to do something for yourself. So, but you wanted to learn, obviously, get some knowledge of that. So you did your MBA and everything. So, and then where did you first start finding your clients? I mean, who are your clients, and where did you start off finding them? And because I always know, I always know with like entrepreneurs that their very first client is probably the most scary one, not in the way that they look scary, but I mean, because you're actually going to do something for someone that's going to pay for it.
Yes, but the truth is that when I made my decision, I decided to make a LinkedIn post, which was talking about, can you help me achieve my dream? And I was talking about, I always dream about working from my home, doing this and that. And people answered very well that post. And from that moment on, various marketing agency reach out to me, wanted to know what I was doing and how can I help and so forth. So from that moment on was my start, you know.
Right.
my starting point.
But I mean, you use some creativity in doing that because it's so difficult for a lot of businesses or solopreneurs to kind of start and they don't know how to start. But as you're using marketing and you're learning marketing skills as well, was that something that you were taught within the marketing, or was that your own idea?
No, that was my own idea. I said I will try. If people doesn't respond to that, it's not my moment. But they responded.
But I mean, I admire kind of the courage to do something like that because a lot of people.
How many people did you have on LinkedIn? How many people were you connected to at the time?
I think like 500 or so. I don't know. Well, there was a few number of people, but for some of them were already CEOs or of marketing agencies. So when they saw that, they knew let's let's check this out.
So how long ago was this then? 2 years ago?
Yes.
Right.
I think it was, yes, the summer after coronavirus came.
Yeah.
So
Just out of curiosity, because I'm looking at your LinkedIn profile now, right, which I'm quite impressed with. I mean, did you get help putting your profile together, or did you do?
No, it was, well, I've seen some videos or how does it call, some posts that say you have to do this, and you have to check all that points. And after that, I came up with my own ideas. How can I improve that in order to be better and better?
Yeah.
And still, I think there's no end to that, no, because every day you can come up with something that can be better than you did the day before.
Exactly. And also the algorithms and the way that LinkedIn works changes. So some things that maybe have been there before are no longer there, but then they've introduced something new.
And the algorithm that nobody understands.
Exactly. So Pete is on the call here. Oh, he's just disappeared. Oh, he's back again. Right. I just wanted to, I mean, everybody's introduced what they do, so maybe you can say what you do, because there are the connections here.
Sure. Well, it's great to be on the call this morning. I do brand strategy work and brand expansion and licensing, consulting, and some marketing, but the primary focus is around brand strategy and expansion and licensing. And I had the privilege of working with James on improving my own LinkedIn profile. I thought was good, and then he told me how ineffective it was being. So I upped it and improved it. And I think those things are really important. Social media, that's an extension of our brand. So we need to make sure it's consistent with our brand, tells a story, and does it in a way that is powerful. So I'm excited to hear more about yours and what led you to kind of do the things that you did, because clearly they worked, and that's pretty special.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks, Pete, for the plug. It wasn't really to get the plug. It was more to kind of see the correlation between what you're doing and marketing, and also the fact that, I mean, as LinkedIn is a primary business tool, it should be used accordingly, because there's 800 plus million users on there, and all your clients and everyone will be there. So
what surprises me is that there are a lot of people that are making a LinkedIn profile and never use it after that. So they are using it like, I'm going to put my CV here and wait for someone to notice it. I don't know. And LinkedIn is not working like that.
Yeah, actually, it's true. They think because they've gone through and they've built their profile and they've added their picture and everything else, and now they're done. You have to actively use it. I mean, it's like, creating a car and leaving it in the garage. It might look beautiful in the garage, but you need people to see the car. Right. So I mean, I am impressed with your LinkedIn profile and what you've done. So tell about the types of clients that you look for now. What sizes
Well,
are they? What in
my
any industry sector?
yes, the ones I write for now are travel companies and marketing agencies, and also some universities. So education, it's also a good idea. Also for the fact that I am an English teacher. So yeah, it's something related, no? Because there's something left for that teacher that it should have been.
So you do many of your, is your work mostly done because you live in Spain, and you say that a lot of Spanish people don't necessarily, unless they're international companies and things, speak English. So is it mainly done in Spanish, your work, or in?
No, it's in Spanish and in English. I have some of my clients are marketing agencies here from Spain, but their clients need their content to be written in English.
Okay.
So there's a 2-point language, let's say.
Yeah. So you prefer kind of the smaller or the bigger clients?
It depends. I had some not quite good experience with big clients, in the sense that they don't have that urge to do things right away, and they are waiting for you to give them solutions without them paying you. And in looking back to that, I think it's better for small clients.
Yeah.
Look for.
So would you work with individuals? I mean, an individual business owner, or more kind of the startup, kind of small businesses?
No, individuals, not quite, because individuals, the same as the big companies, they reach out to you, and then later in 2 or 3 weeks, you don't know anything about it. What if they are they have considered what you have told them or not? And
so who would be your ideal client then?
I think small or medium companies.
Right. And a particular industry sector? I mean, you mentioned travel, so would it be
Travels and education? And I also wrote for tech companies, like software companies or so, but tech, it's a huge sector. So you have to go on parts of it, let's say.
Right. So I guess with travel now, because a lot of the restrictions are being lifted, travel obviously wants to start promoting and pushing what they're doing, because people are more flexible in travel these days than over the last 2 years. So can you see that as a growth area?
I think so, because they somehow notice that they need more to do more from the marketing point of view, that they need people to know who they are, even though 2 years ago they didn't needed to do that.
Okay, so how is business? I mean, you've been doing this now for 2 years, I guess, right? And putting out that post on LinkedIn and getting the marketing agency to come to you, are they still a client?
Yes.
Wow.
And yes.
Yeah, that's good.
And
then.
besides that, there are other companies or other people reaching out to me to ask for things, or I don't know, my services or whatsoever.
So with that marketing one, I mean, it's a marketing agency, so I mean, they provide marketing to their clients.
I don't understand the question.
No, you said that the first one that came to you on LinkedIn was kind of a marketing agency. Right. So they provide marketing services to their clients.
Yes. And they
so you work with them directly for their business, or you work with them for their clients?
With the marketing agencies I work, and they gave what I wrote to their clients. But I also have direct clients. I have a travel agency for which I work directly with. So it depends on the people who reach out to me, because some say, oh, I need this for my client, and others say I need this for my own business. So
do you focus on, because with marketing, there's a lot to consider. So, I mean, you mentioned earlier, it's about the copy and everything else. And so not just the copy, it's about creating the posts, the articles, maybe blogs, and the different types of social media, LinkedIn, and then you've got tons of others depending on where they market their business. So what do you cover in what you do?
Well, there are some fields that I know something about, and there are others that I'm good at. What I realized lately is that there are some people who understand the difference and some that don't. I mean, when you need, for example, when you start a business and you need the web page and you need the content and you need to look for the SEO, for the social media and so forth, some are thinking that all this can be done by one person. And it's not true, because it's a huge work and you have to know a lot of things for I don't know, for the SEO part, for the content, for the social media, and some understand that it can be done by one person and others don't. So you have to make the selection to see how can you help the people that is asking for help, but in the same time that they understand what you want to tell them.
So, I mean, I can see that, because marketing is kind of an umbrella, and then underneath that you get people that specialize in the copy to grab the attention, and you get others that the more the images and videos and the algorithms and hashtagging and everything else on the different social media. And you could be an expert in one social media platform, but not necessarily another. So it all depends on what they want and what you can offer. So you package this, when you sell it, your services, you sell it as a kind of this is a package I do, or you're
no,
more...
I normally listen to what he wants. And depending on, or she, depending on what they say, I normally decide if I can do it myself or I need help. And that is when I work with some other marketing agencies or some other people who can do the job that I can't. So, for example, for the keywords, I normally look for someone who knows the platforms that you need to look for in order to find the keywords. Later on, I write the content or the copy. And later on, if they want the social media, there's another person who does it. Because there's the specific order they have to come up with. And it's difficult for people to understand it has to be done this way, because they normally want something and they want to see the results the day after, and it doesn't work like that, and some understand and some don't.
Yeah, I guess Pete knows all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't find it happens the day after?
What?
No.
I'm being
no.
sarcastic about the fact that they always want it the day after, but it takes, I always say it's a marathon. You have to do this for years. It's going to take a long time, but it will work. And I have a client this morning I'm talking to in an hour, and he's already seeing great results. People are really impressed with the difference in the way he's projecting his brand. And it's just really fun to see him be so happy about what has happened. So it's, I've got a believer, and every time, it's kind of like with me and James, I didn't plug him because I thought I need to plug him. I talked about him because it's real. And so whenever this client of mine talks to someone, he always says, you know, when Pete helped me this and Pete helped me that, and I'm a little bit gun shy or embarrassed because it's kind of like what I did with James, but it's true. So you know, you just take your compliments and be good with it.
But if you got to that point, you should be so very proud because
I'm very proud. I'm very happy for him, and I'm proud of the work that we've done together. And you know, I think that's the greatest joy for us, right? Is, you know, we have to make a living, but if we get to do something we love and we see the results and it helps somebody else, that's what we're here for, I think. So
I totally agree.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So where are you now on your journey? So you've got some existing clients and you're, I guess, always looking out for new clients.
Yes, I'm looking for after new clients or new projects, or I don't know, some interesting ideas to involve myself in.
But now that you've kind of, I mean, just going back, you said that this is something that you'd like to do, work from home and be your own boss and everything else. Now that you have actually experienced it for the last 2 years and doing something that you like, right? I guess it wasn't plain sailing either. It was a bit of a bumpy road. I mean, how did you find it?
Not that tough.
Not that tough.
No, because I think that when you do something that you like, it's all the problems you may have, they seem easier to.
So from that initial post that you put out, I'm going to go back and check it. Actually, is it still there?
No, it isn't. It was 2 years or so.
Yeah, well, I'm going to scroll back and have a look.
2 years. It will take you 2 days to scroll.
All right, but yeah, I'll just be curious on, because you did something. I mean, you weren't selling anything. You were just explaining a situation, and that, I think that's what resonated with people. We had another guest on here, and she created a 40-second video or something. No, I can't even remember how long it was now. Yeah, I need to go back and check that. But I mean, she created a very, very personal video. You remember Ida? That did the video.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a very short video. It's very rough and ready. It wasn't this kind of professional stuff. And yeah, it was so personal. And she was just telling her story. She'd lost her job, looking for something else. And then from that, within 2 days, she had like 7,000 views and 2 job offers. So I mean, not that she was saying.
I saw a post related to that. It was a guy with a piece of paper saying, I desperately need a job. And the same, in 2 weeks or so, he had a job. So
yeah, so I mean, you can be seen as, oh yeah, that poor sad person, and people feel sorry for you, or you could think, oh, no, I don't want to work with them. They'll look desperate. So it is a kind of a risk and a fine balance between seen as being desperate, give me a job, but not showing any value. I mean, as opposed to like saying, this is what you're doing, and showing like the sincerity of that and the value that you could bring. And then people want to engage and think, well, wow, they're professional and connect with you. Like when you mentioned about your post, and the marketing agency wouldn't just select you if you're just saying like, I need a job or something.
no, but besides that, of course, I had to send them some works I done or so. They haven't choose me right away, no. But besides that, I think it's very important because when talking to people, they understand the person you are. I think that we are very related in the sense that the person and the professional, they need to stick very closely. No, you can't have an image about how professional you are and in the personal life be completely different. I don't know if you agree or not, but
yeah, No, I agree. So, I mean, we could talk a lot about that. So where you are now, you're happy that you made that kind of transition from the corporate world to working with multi-internationals and stuff, to doing your own thing, working from home, and you're enjoying it. You said that you're doing something that you enjoy and that you love. So
I do, because it was my dream since I can remember.
okay.
So.
So how can we, I mean, like the community here, I mean, how can we help you? Or what are your biggest challenges that you face at the moment?
Well, I think what I would need would be some other, I don't know if companies or persons or whatever to reach out to me for new clients.
I can help you.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, I saw I got a phone call. What I do, one of my activities I mentioned about websites, but past 2 years, I help some companies to improve their search engine optimization. But what I do is not like copywriting. Of course, we discuss the keywords, etc. But what we do first the technical part. So what I can do, I can help you with your website because it's nice, but it's slow loading, for example. And this is the first thing. Second, most of my clients with websites for the time being are from Bulgaria, and they are pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies, they're really very regulated. So when you post an article or whatever, it goes through definitely to the legal department, marketing, legal department, agency, etc. So I have such challenge now with the Bulgarian company. They need to put the keywords in the content of the website, but they cannot simply just change it or publish.
Yes,
it needs to go a long way. So for this, this is, I think that I don't have thousands of clients, so I can pass to most of them. Here in Southeast Europe, few like English ones. I see your website is only in Spanish. So
yes, I know. What website have you looked for? Informatico?
Yes, this is.
Yes, that's not my job. That's my husband's job, and I'm struggling with him since last year.
Your husband.
Telling him you need to update this. You need to make this website, and he's not. So.
Yeah, this is something, because also with James we had many talks about websites, etc. When you build your business slowly, here it's competency. You start building your brand.
Yes, I need to make my own website. So
this is one, and when you do it on your own website. Okay, it's good to use the social networks and other to promote this, but it's good to put value into something that you have control and hands-on this to.
Yes, I know what you mean.
This is my opinion that and the sooner you start with a website, for example, just registering a domain, time is working for you. The older the domain, yes. Also,
I have a domain which is called Content for Inbound.
Very good. This is what you want.
This was step number 1. Now I have to go for step number 2.
Okay, so
I think Boyan, I mean, you could take that conversation.
I send you a request to connect so we can catch up.
Okay.
Perfect. Maybe you can also help me so we can exchange something or find common projects to.
Yeah. So in your business, do you need any branding? Need any help on the branding side?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, because
Okay.
I'm trying to introduce Pete, you see.
I don't know. I have some ideas and I'm looking for some templates or so. And since I do the content, I have some ideas of what it should contain as well, but I haven't done the puzzle yet, no?
Yeah. I'll just share something that's happened recently that's I'm pretty excited about, and it's one of those, maybe like this post that you did that just all of a sudden started getting a lot of traction. I mentioned that about this client of mine that I helped, and how he's, every time he opens his mouth he talks about how good it went. Well, I had the opportunity to share a little bit about that with another group I'm part of called 10X Vets. I'm a former Navy officer in the U.S. Navy. And so this is a bunch of veterans who, or their spouses who have their own businesses. And so I was sharing a little bit about the story about my client, how I helped him with his brand strategy. And the guy that created this platform said, this is something you should be telling everybody about in this organization. I think a lot of them can use it. And by the way, I could use it also. So I said, okay, well, let me share with you what I'm doing. He goes, well, that's all great, but I really need it to be self-paced. I don't have the time to meet with you once a week for 3 months. Can you just make this self-paced? And I said, well, actually I can, because about 2 years ago, James had a couple of interns, and those interns, I put them through this course and I recorded everything. And so now I have this self-paced course, which consists of watching the videos, reviewing the presentations, giving you assignments, giving you examples of what the assignments should look like. And at the end of it, you get your brand story is written, your brand architecture is written, your brand positioning is, and you're keyed up to hand over that, what I would call one of the very best briefs, brand strategy briefs, to give to a marketing graphic designer to create your brand visual identity. And so since that time that I told him, I've had like 5 or 6 people in the last month who have signed up either for the brand self-paced course or the coaching course. So I don't know if that is something that would be interesting to you, but it might be for you personally, because a lot of us who've worked in this space, we know in our hearts and we know in our minds, but we don't actually spend time to write things down and actually articulate.
I think there is a thing that when you have to write or tell somebody else's story, it's easier than when you have to make your own one.
100%, I agree. And literally, I just a gentleman who heard about this literally came to me and he said, "I need your help. I actually want to apply for a job, a very important job, and I know I need to get my brand story right." And I'm literally, I'm looking at you on my iPhone and I'm looking at my monitor, and he just sent me his story last night, and he's asking me to read it, and it's fabulous. So so all that is to say is that I think, is it perfect? No, but it's pretty close, and it's one of these where I think it can be beneficial. And so, for what it's worth, I share that with you. And absolutely no pressure or no anything other than just from colleague to colleague. I love to share with you what I've done and see if it makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Yeah, excellent. So what I've done is that I've shared Connie's LinkedIn link in the chat. So I encourage you to connect with each other. I've added also Connie to the featured business group on LinkedIn. So you'll see new guests and be able to chat and whatever in there as well. So Paul, did you have something to add? No. Okay. Okay. Can't get Connie out to South Africa to do some work with some of your clients?
I'm thinking, but what's happening at the moment is I'm I'm in a sales process to sell a solar intervention to a hotel group. So starting with one hotel and then moving it into the group. And I always look at a trade opportunity. I'm very well connected with the rest of the world. This little meeting is one of my little meetings that I have around with friends around the world. So I want to help this hotel market themselves. I mean, we've all now been through COVID. They're sitting with, I think, 122 rooms, 50% capacity at the moment. So funny enough, I've just sent Boyan the website. Can we improve it, and what stories do we tell? That's a possibility. So that's something that I could integrate into my deal with them. So, but you mentioned travel, so I'm just not sure. Would it be is a hotel a potential client?
Yes, it can be. Actually, I'm talking with a marketing agency that next week we have to make a proposal for a hotel that needs some more visibility. So it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
And would you be reaching out to the Spanish market, or do you reach out to Europeans? What's your reach?
Both. As I mentioned before, some people here in Spain use Spanish and English for their clients. So it depends if the business is for Spain or worldwide, because if it is for Spain, it has to be in Spanish, but if it's worldwide, it has to be in English. So
yeah. So you write in English and Spanish and
yes.
Romanian?
Yes.
Yeah, look, I mean, let's explore this and see if we can do something. I would like to try.
Well,
Okay.
something that I didn't, let's say, share to this audience. I have experience with hospitality business. Since one of the solutions, Scala, is as a back office for the hotels. So I worked with many hotels for implementing this. Further, a friend of mine is in like a property business, and particularly selling hotels in the States. For the time being, he wanted to expand wider, but maybe this is something that we can also explore to go into more details with this.
Yeah.
Because it's not only software, but also how a small, let's say, owners of the hotels joined the bigger network, let's say Hyatt or whatever, or Hilton, how they sold their, they bumped into their business and this could be for smaller or for big businesses maybe it's interesting area to discuss.
Right. Okay. So I suggest as a first step, like connect with each other on LinkedIn, and then you can chat in the chat group or set up your own personal.
I'll send you an invite, Connie. I'll send you an invite.
Thank you.
We already connected, aren't we?
So
Line up.
Yeah. So just in kind of wrapping this up, because we've kind of gone over the time. So is there any message that you want to leave us with about maybe your journey? And
Yes, I think it's very important never to quit up your dreams, because the thing is that what I'm doing now is because I haven't abandoned mine, no, because I wanted to work in something that I can live from, doing it from my corner, and I managed to do it. So if you're decided enough, you can do almost anything.
Perfect. I love that. So thank you very much, Connie, for being our 76th guest.
Thank
Right.
you.
Just a couple of things to wrap up with. Yeah, I ask people that if they want to be featured in our featured guest book, first edition. So I know that Pete and Boyan are going to be in the book. Paul, I didn't hear anything from Paul. And Connie, I mean, now you've been a guest, you've got that option as well. I mean, we do have 12 confirmed so far. So, I mean, ideally, I'm after 13-ish, but I mean, if a couple more or whatever, then that's not a problem. Right, we do have our first kickoff call next week.
I first have to update with all the others, and we'll talk after that.
Right. No problem.
They're nice people, actually. As I told you in the beginning,